Central Florida. Not yet. Anyway. All right. So my name is David Kushner, and I'm with Right Line Trading. And I've been with Right Line Trading almost 5 years now, and I trade with the money flow tracker software that uses mathematical modeling combined with artificial intelligence. This is the team over at Right Line. That's me up in the top right-hand corner. Uh, Before we get started, we have to go through the disclaimer. Basically, this disclaimer is saying that we're not giving any buy, sell, hold recommendations. Everything we talk about in this webinar is for educational purposes only, and you will get a recording of this webinar. So if you want to read the whole disclaimer, go ahead. Okay, but it's just basically that's what it is saying. So everything we talk about is for educational purposes only. So again, my name's David Kushner. I've been trading the markets for over 25 plus years. I trade stocks, I've traded options, Forex, and some Forex. My background was I had an automotive parts business that I started when I was 18 years old. Had that business for 28 years, sold it in 2005. Can't believe it's been 20 years already. And since then, I've been a full-time trader. So like most of you probably have a whole shelf full of or hard drive full of indicators, trading systems, came with a lot of empty promises of helping you become a more consistent trader. I know that over the years that I've been trading, I probably have so much stuff on hard drives. I probably have 4 or 5 hard drives full of stuff that is totally useless. So when I was a webinar and I saw a webinar Mark Sachs did, and I saw the money flow tracker software for the first time, I quickly realized that this methodology isn't based around the same old indicators that everybody else teaches, but it's more based on mathematical modeling and triple and quadruple screen analysis. Okay, I only trade now with institutional money flow, and it's made me much more profitable and much more consistent trader. And now I'm running over a 70% win-loss rate with a really good profit factor. So the agenda for this webinar is how the money flow tracker software works, the high probability setups, the unbreakable rules to follow, how I trade breakouts and sidestep losing trades, the money flow tracker auto trader, and how to pass the evaluations to become a funded trader. So those who stay to the end of this webinar, it's about 45 minutes. We have a very special Black Friday special deal going on this week, plus some additional software bonus as quick action bonus. So I always ask people, why are you here? Are you here because you're not getting the results you want yet? Notice how I said yet, right? You're not here to waste time, okay? You're not here to waste money. And you're sick of buyer's remorse. So what does that mean? It means you buy a system, you trade with it, it looks great, you're making some money, you're doing well, you have that proverbial losing streak, or you have some losing trades, and then you'll end up like throwing the baby out with the bathwater, and then you go, oh, this system doesn't work, I'm going to go look for something else. You don't have to do that anymore. I did that for years. I did that. I don't do that anymore. I've been trading with the money flow tracker software for 5 years. All right. So you want me to show you a solution, right? You want to hit consistent winning trades. You want a performance that repeats daily. Look, the markets are here for us to extract money from them every day. Do we extract money from the market every day? No. But at the end of the month, we do exceptionally well. So you need 4 things to create trading success. And those 4 things are software to provide you with an edge over all other traders. The second thing is that edge needs to track the direction of money flow. So institutional money flow, right? So when I talk about order flow or money flow from now on, I'm only referring to institutional money flow. The third thing is etched in stone rules to follow, and this will eliminate discretion. And the fourth thing, which I believe is the most important thing in trading, is patience. Patience to let the trade set up, right? Most people don't have patience. They jump in a trade, because of this or because of that, and they just don't have patience to wait for the best setup. Okay, so I'm going to break this system down in detail, but let me show you a few trades that we've taken. Here's an AMC trade, 139%. It was an option trade. Another option trade. This was a trade on 30-year bonds at $41, 41 ticks at 31.25 a tick. This was $1,281. Here's a trade on the euro. You know, I'm not going to show you tons of charts that we took trades and had winning trades. That's not going to help you. All right. But from the poll, most of you have a problem making money. And why? Because you don't have the proper tools to officially manage a trade. You overtrade, you revenge trade. You trade and make impulsive decisions. This is the biggest one for traders. Why? Because traders, they have a losing trade. So the first thing they want to do is, I got to make it back. I got to make it back. And then they take another iffy trade and they lose on that one. And now they're doubling down and it doesn't work like that. All right. You lack consistency. You trade with indicators that lag price. You don't have a mathematically proving trade methodology. And all these things lead to blowing up trading accounts. Believe me, I know. I've blown up my share of trading accounts. So my commitment to you is to bring this to an end. Right? So why do 95 to 98% of traders that use the following go broke? Like price action, MACD, Elliott wave, divergence, all these things have no future predictive properties. Now, I am not, and I'm going to repeat, I am not, NOT, saying that the money flow tracker could predict the future. Okay? First of all, that wouldn't be true because nothing can predict the future. And I'm not going to say something that we don't do in the room, or the software doesn't do. That's not true. Okay? But it does have some predictive properties. I will show you. But it can't predict the future. Otherwise, I'd be almost a billionaire. Right? I'd be taking my own rocket to space. All right. So Mark Sachs had 35 plus years in the study in the field of applied mathematics. He was a professor at Jefferson University, and after 8 years, he engineered the software system and trade methodology that can improve your trade performance called the Money Flow Tracker. And we have over 500 traders that we trade shoulder to shoulder between our 3 trade rooms every day. So before we get started, I want to share my personal trade journal. So I use an online trade journal. So every day I go to NinjaTrader and I download my spreadsheet of all my trades right here. These are all my trades for the day. And I upload it into this program. And I've been using this program now for about 2 years or so, right? And then I click on this button and I go here and I upload my data for the day to 11:25. I already did it, so I upload it for the day. So what does it do? It imports all the data, the entry time, the exit time. This is the NinjaTrader trade ID. All right, gives you all your information. And what does this do for me? Well, if I go to the home page, I can see I'm at a 76.15% win rate with a profit factor of 2.67, which means for every dollar I risk, I'm making $2.67. Okay, but not that it gives me an equity curve. This is my equity curve for this year. All right. Yeah, it's a nice equity curve. We have ups and downs, little bumps and little along the way, but overall, it's from the bottom left to the top right. I can do reports with this program. Like if I want to do let's do performance per day. This is the last 6 months worth of trading. Look at the winning days and look how the losing days are normally less than 500. Once in a while it goes over, but normally they're less. We keep them at 500. When I'm down 500 in an account, I stop trading for the day. Okay? But I wanted to show you something here. Now, if we look at, let's say, I don't care, October, September. Let's look at September. Why do we have days here that says no trades? Because the Money Flow Tracker software will keep you out of choppy, non-trending, low-volume markets. It won't give you setups. So if we don't have a setup, we do not take a trade. So these days were no trade days, means we had no setups. All right. But September 2025, right? What did we do in September 2025? Report. September 25, we did $6,586, right? But if you go here, how many days didn't we trade in September? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 20 days. We didn't take a trade, and we still made $6,500. And I truly believe that if we would have tried to trade these days, these would have all been losing days. Look at that, August, right? Look at July, okay? Um, okay, so these are my trades. This is today, this is this month. Now, I didn't trade all last week because I had a death in the family and I wasn't able to be here the whole week. But even not being here the whole week, we're still up $8,600 for the month. So I wanted to share this with you, my trade journal, on how we did. We had a great day today. I will show you the trades from today. All right, so let's keep going. So the markets consist of many small retail traders represented by these marbles, plus one or more large institutional trader represented by the big purple ball. Well, if we know that most retail traders lose money, why would we want to trade along with them? We don't. We want to trade when the institutional traders are trading, because those are the ones that move the market. Those are the guys that make things happen. Okay? So we want to trade when they're trading. We don't want to trade with retail traders. All right. So the money flow tracker software, let's get into this, has 3 key metrics to determine money flow. The first one is triple screen assessment of correlative markets using our AI engine. The second one is triple screen assessment of order flow. And the third is triple screen assessment of the Laguerre for momentum. Now, what do I mean by triple screen assessment? So most people learn when you keep things simple. So I look at it this way. I need 3 time frames in agreement. That's triple screen analysis. 3 time frames in agreement. Easy peasy, simple, right? So that's the triple screen analysis of order flow is the first powerful force that moves price, because without order flow, you have no market. So what, I know. Somebody just typed, not those candles with all the numbers on them. No. These candles with all these numbers on the inside right, on the inside left, on the bottom, on the side, on the top. You can't make good trading decisions and try to figure out these candles as they're printing. All right. So we came up with our own order flow candles. Makes it super simple. So our order flow candles, if you have a green outline of the candle, means that the delta of that candle is positive. And if you have a red outline, means the delta of the candle is negative. So if you're, and this is the way I look at it while I'm trading. If I'm long, I only want to see green candles. I want to see buyers, buyers, buyers. If I'm short, I want to see sellers, sellers, sellers. And just as simple as that. So triple screen an assessment means we need order flow going in the same direction on 3 time frames. And I put a screenshot of our charts up here because I wanted you to see how clean and how simple the charts are to read. All our indicators are represented by these colored lines. So it's either going to be the right color or there's going to be no trade. All right. So let's go on. The second powerful force that moves price is triple screen assessment of momentum and our hybrid candles, the wicks. So again, triple screen assessment, we want to see momentum going in the same direction on 3 time frames. The candle wicks. So we're the only company that was able to develop the Ranko bars and draw the wicks inside the Ranko bars. And we use these wicks to our advantage. For instance, if you have a wick that opens from the previous candle's close, goes up the bar size and closes, The next candle opens from the previous bar size. The next candle opens from the previous. Those are momentum candles. This candle with the wick that came all the way down is a pullback candle, and we use these pullback candles to our advantage. All right, so let's erase that, and let's keep going. So the modified Laguerre, we took all these indicators and we added our own algorithm to it, and we developed what we call the modified Laguerre. Now, the modified Laguerre does not show divergence like other oscillators, but it only shows strength of trend. So the modified Laguerre is represented by the bottom colored line. See, it says modified Laguerre signal B. Well, when this line crosses below 20, it turns red. When it crosses above and sloping up, it's light green. When it crosses over 80, it turns dark green, and it crosses below and sloping down, it's orange, right? We want to see it pinned at 100 or pinned at 0, so we get our acceleration dots. Now let's talk about our quant lines. We have two quant lines, a long-term and a short-term, and that's the third powerful force that moves price. So what do our quant lines do? Our quant lines examine 28 market components and are by our AI system for correlation. Now, most people have heard about correlation. The word correlation in itself, you know what the meaning is. Don't pay attention to it, right? But we do, because it's very powerful stuff. And I don't know why most people don't pay attention. But, you know, if you have ES, YM, NQ, and RTY all going in the same direction, that's powerful. But let's say NQ, RTY, and YM are going up and ES is going down or going sideways. What do you think is going to happen to ES? ES is going to end up following the other three markets. So we want to see all the markets either green or red for the day. You know the old saying, a rising tide floats all boats? Well, it's kind of the same in the markets. When the markets are being bid up, be driven up or down, they're usually doing it together. So the next thing is that we developed an indicator that we call the C2. And all the C2 indicator does is add a fourth time frame. So now we're not looking for triple screen assessment, we're looking for quadruple screen assessment of the trend. We want to know that we definitely have a trend in place, right? So we have the C2 indicator, and the C2 indicator just adds another time frame. And it's represented on the chart by this stair-stepping line above the candles, green going up and dark red going down. All right, so let's put it all together. Anybody have any questions? Any questions you have, put them in the questions box, and Rory or myself will answer them. Okay, I know Rory's been answering a bunch of them, but all right, so let's put it all together. All right, the rules and the setup. First rule, you must have a colored background, dark green or dark pink. 3 time frames in agreement is the dark background. We want the C2, so we must have the C2. We have 2 lines, a dot dash line and a solid line. We always want to see the solid line above the dot dash going up and below going down. If you run into resistance, like a pivot, like higher time frame support, like the VWAP, like whatever it is, okay? You must wait for 3/4 of the body to, let me see that. You must wait for 3/4 of the body to clear the pivot, and then you must wait for a pullback candle. And I'll explain to you why we wait for the pullback candle. The 5th rule is both quants must be in agreement, either red or green. The multiple time frame Laguerre must be in agreement with the quants, and the modified Laguerre must be in agreement with the quants, the multiple time frame Laguerre, and it must be pinned at 100 so that we get our acceleration dots. So this trade here There's the entry. There's the exit. We exit when a dot dash line changes color. We call it exit on line change, right? This was 63 ticks. That's $630 per contract on CL. All right. Now, this is what I tell everybody, and this is what we do every single day, is trading with the money flow tracker rules will keep you out of choppy, non-trending markets. This is where most traders lose money. So people, I've had hundreds of people come into my room and I've taught the trade. I've coached thousands of traders, right? And they come to me with the same problem. David, I make money one day, and the next 2 days I end up giving it all back. And then I make money the next day, and then the next day I end up giving a lot of it back. So I tell them it's okay not to trade every day. I prove it over and over. You don't have to trade every day. It's not what you do per day. It's not what you do per trade. It's what you do at the end of the month. Okay, that's the way I look at it. What did I do at the end of the month? So if you follow the rules and you don't have setups, then you don't take any trades, period. And this rule has helped so many traders, so many people that have sent me letters and emails and stuff, thanking me for helping them turn the corner with their trading. So let's keep going. So here was a trade that I took. Now this is CL. So the market came down. I was waiting for a pullback, didn't get a pullback. Got this pullback. This was like a pullback and go, right? Really fast. Then I finally got a pullback. So as this pulled back, I entered my trade here. My first target is 10 ticks. Okay? That's $100. My exit is exit on line change. This was 55 ticks. That's $10 a tick. It's $555. So this whole trade was $650 trade. Okay, $650. When did the trade enter? 9:36. When did the trade exit? 9:37. 1 minute, you make $650. Okay, those are the trades that we get. We get those trades. Have we get those trades every day? No. All right. All right. So the money flow tracker software will give you clear and exact entries and exits if you follow the rules. All right. You get all your targets are pre-configured. We give you all the ATMs, and the exit signal is exit on line change. If you trail your stop and get stopped out before exit on line change, that's fine too. You can manage the trade however you want. So I'm going to teach you how I trade breakouts with the money flow tracker software, and I call it the pull back and go strategy. And this one particular strategy has saved us so many losing trades. I mean, I can't even imagine tell you how many trades that we sidestep losing trades by using this strategy. Okay, so the market's coming down. Here's the pivot and stuff. It breaks the pivot. We get the pullback candle. As this candle pulls back halfway, that's when we place our order to sell on down close. Why do we do that? Because when markets break support, how do we know that it's not a liquidity grab, stop run, whatever you want to call it, right? Stop hunt, whatever you want to call it. We don't know that. But a lot of times when markets break support, they'll pull back and retest it and then go. All right, so forget about what happened after the trade. Because if the market's coming down, pulls back and goes like this, and this candle closes up, this order automatically gets canceled. Okay, if this candle closes up, this order automatically gets canceled. And what the nice thing about it is that it helps us getting caught in stop runs or liquidity grabs. It helps keep us out of that kind of stuff. Sometimes we get caught in it anyways, but most of the time it doesn't. If it breaks support, pulls back, and then it goes, fine. Means the market is stronger in that direction. Okay, if it pulls back and closes up, means the market broke, but really wasn't very strong on the break. All right, so let's keep going. So here's one on RTY. Broke the pivot, pull back, place the order, first profit target, second profit target. Here's another one on crude oil. Here's two of them on the Canadian dollar. All right, so any questions so far? I must be doing a great job explaining because you guys don't have a whole lot of questions. Anyways, all right. So now I want to talk about my favorite subject, the money flow tracker, auto trader strategy. That's called the Revolutions. We just call it Revo. It's the Revo strategy. So what does it do? Well, it took this trade here for 704 ticks. It took this trade here for 665 ticks. It took this trade here for 1,016 ticks. You think it's easy staying in a trade when for 1,016 ticks? It's torture. Remember, this is MNQ. It does a lot of ups and downs and pullbacks and this and that, but stayed in it and exited on fine chain. So here's another trade, 792 ticks. So I'm going to open up the strategy window because I can explain to you what it does more on the strategy window than I can on a screenshot. So here's the settings. I'm going to load one of my templates. I'll load this template here. Doesn't matter. So remember the rules we just I just went over, right? What do we want? Who knows what the first rule was? Come on, somebody tell me what the first rule was. Exactly. You want the bias. Well, the bias in the C2 is in one setting. Okay, we recently upgraded the strategy, so now if you just want to trade the bias without the C2, you can do that. But we want the bias in the C2, right? So we want the bias in the C2 turned on, so we turn it on. Now the strategy doesn't wait for a pullback, so I have the signal entry being delayed by 1 bar. I want to see the whole bar clear the pivot. The Laguerre signal, red or green, right? We wanted the multiple time frame, red or green. These signals are the colors of the moving averages, red or green, red or green. We want the MA diff signal turned on. That's at 350. I'll explain to you what the MA diff is in a few minutes. Okay? We want to clear the pivots. We want it to clear the volume zones, which are the higher time frame support and resistance. All right, I don't use that. The quants, we want the quants to be red or green. Now, the first target value is very important. Why? Because if you don't have from here to here at least 81 ticks, if you don't have 81 ticks, it will not take the trade. It will pass until the candle closes above. Then it will take the trade. Right? So if there's only 50 ticks, it won't take the trade. Right? It must have at least the first profit target. That's why that number is really important. And then the VWAP is we want to trade long above the VWAP and short below the VWAP. WL, we normally trade micros because of our risk per trade. I'll get into that a little bit later. All right. Now, you can have it come on and come off whenever you want. You can have the start and the end time whenever you want. We put in here maximum lag time. Okay. What does that mean? Well, if you have a lag time on your charts, right? And you have over a 1 second lag time, it won't take a trade. It won't trade. So if you're having problems with lag times, I would suggest delete your workspace and rebuild a brand new one, and that normally fixes lag time. Anyways, this has built-in risk management. So right here, so if you want to risk $1,000 per day, I mean, you want to profit 500, excuse me, reverse that. If you want your session profit to be 1,000 and your risk per day, your loss limit for the day 500, you can do it right here. All right. We have lots of traders that still have jobs, and they set this to go on at a certain time in the morning. And I told them, set your risk loss. Oh, damn it. Set your risk. Where did it go? What happened to it? That's right. I think it's behind here. Yeah, there it is. Let me fix this here. I'll just leave that for now. I tell them, set your limit at 1,000 and your session loss at 500, which means if you're in a trade and you're up more than 1,000, it's not going to close the trade at 1,000. But when it closes that trade, it will not trade anymore for the day. If you're down 500, it will not trade anymore. What do I mean by profit target? It won't trade. Okay, let me just get through this, Sandy, and I'll go get to that. All right. This is where you set your profit targets, how many contracts, your risk, and this and that. Your break evens, if you want to do a trailing stop, or you want to use what we call the leapfrog, you can use that, or you can use the smart stop, which is exit on line change. Okay, so these are all the settings. So let me go ahead and fix this again. Okay. Okay. So, Sandy, if there's only 50 ticks here, from here to here, right? It will not take the trade because we're telling the strategy we want 81 ticks for our first profit target. So it's not, if there's only 50 ticks here, it's not going to take the trade because it's not going to hit the first profit target. Okay? You understand now? If you don't, I can explain it again. All right? So the reason why is because we don't want it to trade into resistance or support. Right? So there's this. So this is the equity curve for 2021 and 2022. Now I lost all my data for 2023 when my computer crashed. So I have 2024. So this was 2024, right? 2024, we did roughly about $44,000 just on what we call the MNQ swing trade. It uses a larger bar size. It must be in a good trend to take it. Those were all the trades I just showed you with this particular trade. So just in 2024, this made $44,000. This is a trade that I took, right? Well, I didn't take it. Revo took it, and it hit my first profit target like really fast. Really fast. So I turned on my recorder because I felt like this was going to be one of those big trades, and I wanted to be able to share it. So I'm going to turn on the trade. I'm going to turn on my recording. So I already hit my first profit target. It's going up. I'm just going to go fast forward. I'm going to make this bigger, see if you can see. There, that's better. Right? So now you see we're up 257 ticks, and we're still going, and we're still going, and we're still going. So I'm going to stop it here. You see this number right here, 372 MA diff, right there. We don't trade this above 350. All right. So it took it when it was all down here. So the MA diff was lower. So I'm going to keep going. We're up 432. The MA diff is over the max, so I started moving my stop. Right. So here we're up 487, 564. Now the MA diff is at 450 or 425. Now I'm really moving it closer because the higher the MA diff gets, the MA diff is how far away from the 50 How far are we from here? Okay, that's what the MA diff is telling us. And when we get far from there, the further you get from there, the higher the chance of a pullback within the next couple of candles. And I got to tell you, it's usually pretty right on. When the MA dip gets really high, it usually gets a pullback. Because look, I mean, the thing has been going up 500, almost 600 ticks, right? It's due for a pullback. It's profit taking or whatever. So there we are. We're up. We're in there. 570 ticks. 500. We're out. 570 ticks. So we trade 4 micros on this strategy. So 2 micros is $1 each. So that's $80 on the first profit target. The second profit target, exit online change, was $650. No, $570. So again, this trade was $650. And I didn't really, all I did was turn on the strategy. Now, I'm going to show you something because we've been testing this strategy the last week or two. And I'm going to show you a couple trades that we took today. So here is trade. This is on a 24 Unirenko bar. This is what we call the MNQ swing trade. Got in here, right? Got my first profit target and exited right here. 200 ticks on that trade. 200 ticks. Now, if I would have kept trading this all day, had a few nice trade here too, but I don't trade in the afternoon. All right, so that's the MNQ swing trade we took today. Now, here's another trade. This is on RTY. We took this trade here. This trade was taken here and exited here for 40 ticks. Right? And I'm going to show you the big monster trade we had today on MNQ on the 8 Unirenko. This trade here got entered here. Got entered right there. Took my first profit target at 20 ticks. Rode it and 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 rode it all the way to here. 388 ticks. 300, and I was trading 8 micros, and this one trade was $1,400. $1,400, and it was amazing. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It was just amazing. Here is a screenshot of my total profits for today. This was on my MNQ trade account. Right? These are my trades. This is my profit for today on my funded accounts. I don't normally show it, but I wanted to show it today. All right. So let me answer a couple questions here. David's asking, is the Revo safe to use on profit and bet? Absolutely. I trade with it all the time, and I use it on my profit accounts and evaluation accounts all the time. The P&L curve is from mostly manual, okay? Mostly manual trades. We've only been trading the Revo on these other markets for about 2 weeks. And so far, well, you just saw our trade that we made $1,400 on. Yes, it's on both. And yes, Deepak, it works on NinjaTrader, and it does work with Apex Rhythmic. I traded on my Apex accounts. I traded on my Buell Knox accounts. I traded on my Prop Shop accounts. I traded on whatever account you can trade it on. And there's never going to be an issue because, you know, what they don't want is they don't want people trading with algorithms that are in and out, in and out, in and out. Take 3 or 4 ticks out. Take 4, automated everything. They don't want that. They don't feel that's, you just can't do it. They won't let you. All right. but I never had a problem, and I know lots of people that trade algorithms and trade with Apex and Buellnox and all of them, and they don't have any problem with them. As a matter of fact, Prop Shop Trader is another one that I trade with. All right, so now let's talk how to pass the evaluations. Okay, now I have two friends of mine. My friend John is a floor trader, and my friend Steve works for a brokerage firm. So I talked to my friend John, and I'm like, how do floor traders make money? He said, well, first of all, they're only concerned, they're never concerned with their profits. I said, what do you mean they're not concerned with their profits? He says they don't worry about profits. They worry about their risk. They worry about losers. Okay? If they're in a trade and the trade's not working, they're going to cut that trade and move on to the next trade. All right? I hate the saying, cut your losers short, let your winners run, but that's what they do. Right? He said, but they don't worry about how much they're going to make. They only worry about how much could lose. And he said, he told me, David, if you can get to a point where that's all you're concerned about, your profits will take care of themselves. So I started doing that. And damn it, it was right. Right? I worry about my risk. Right? So when you are trading, whether it's an evaluation or your own money, don't focus on the carrot, which means don't focus on your profits. Right? Just focus on trading well. Focus on your system. Focus on your methodology. If you choose to trade with the money flow tracker manually, that's fine. I've traded with it manually for 4 years and did well. Sometimes I miss trades because I take my eye off the screen for a minute or two or whatever, and I miss the setup. But if I trade with the Revo, then it doesn't miss the entries. So when it takes an entry, I just manage the trade, right? So if you focus on trading well, the profits will take care of themselves. And I know it doesn't sound very, sexy or whatever, but it's true. The challenges or valuations or wherever your particular account, gladiator, warrior, mouse, Minnie Mouse, whatever, right? They're really designed to make you fail because of the parameters they put in place, like how many trading days to pass. The trailing drawdown is the biggest one, right? Most of them are now going to, you could pass in 1 day, right? There's so many prop firms out there that they're so competitive now that they're all trying to get an edge, right? But the trailing drawdown is probably the biggest reason why most people fail evaluations. 1 second, let me get a little drink here. So, if you think that when you sign up for a $50,000 trading account with Apex or whatever, that you're trading $50,000, you're not, okay? Your drawdown is $2,500. That's the account you're trading. You're trading $2,500 account, right? So my process is that I don't risk any more than 10% of my drawdown on any one trade. So for instance, if I trade NQ at $5 a tick at 40 tick stop, that's $200 per contract loss. That's $400 per trade. So I trade 6 micros, and that keeps me within my risk parameter. So if you look at your win rate versus your risk reward, if you're risking 10 ticks to make 10 ticks, you're a 1-to-1 trader, you better be right 60% of the time to be profitable. If you're a 2-to-1 trader, you could be wrong 60% of the time and still make money. And my friend John told me, I asked him, what are professional traders, what is normal, what would you consider their percentage win rate? He said anywhere from 35 to 40. Some are a little bit less, some are a little bit more. He says, but 40% is about their wish rate. So that's how they make money, because they're trading 2-to-1, right? And I'm like in between 2-to-1 and 3-to-1, but I'm over 60%. So I don't worry about this. I don't worry about this. And if I didn't use that program to chart my stats and keep all my stats, I would have never known what my risk reward was. Right? So rather than avoid risk, take intelligent risk. And this will give you that competitive edge that you're looking for, just like this mouse. He wants that piece of cheese, right? But what's his risk? The mousetrap hitting him in the head. So what did he do? He put on his helmet. He took intelligent risk. All right. So I've shown you everything I could show you about the money flow tracker software. You have two choices. Either if you're making money and you're consistent, then just continue on your current path. But for most of you, according to the poll, take action today. Join us. We have a great deal, Black Friday deal going on. We haven't had a deal like this in probably 3 years, right? So the money flow tracker trading system, it's easy to learn. The benefits easy to learn. You get all the workspaces, all the templates and everything. It's perfect for beginners, right? I wish I had this 20 years ago, right? But I didn't, but I learned. You live and learn, right? It's perfect for any account size. I have traders that trade 2, 3, 4 micros per trade, and they're happy with that. I have one guy, when he puts on a trade, he puts on anywhere from 100 to 200 contracts. I would have a heart attack if I had 100 contracts on it and it went against me 2 or 3 ticks. I think I would have a heart attack. But anyways, it's just any account size, right? And then I have a couple of guys that trade 5, 10 contracts at a time, and you can trade futures. You can trade this with Forex, stocks, options. You can use the stock signals for options, and you can trade it on cryptos. So for the first 10 traders that come aboard today, we have some powerful additional software as a quick action bonus. So the first thing you'll get is the market analyzer. So I'm going to pull mine down here because I use Renko bars and this is a minute, right? So for instance, if I look, we trade NQ on an 82040, right? We trade RTY and YM on a 41020 and gold. So I look at these columns, CL 2510, it's flat. I don't need to look at anything. RTY, NQ, we trade on a 420. It's flat. RTY is flat. Everything's flat. Why? Because the market's dead and it's closed. But you get this as part of your package. This is a $9.99 value. You'll get our execution platform, which we call the NDT. Now, this is what you use to buy on up close, sell on down close. This is where you put your ATMs, your order types, your everything. This is what you use to enter and exit trades. You'll get the Masterclass series on futures, Forex, stocks, and options. These are very good. I've watched them a couple times, as a matter of fact. And you'll get 1 month in my trade room. Now, our trade rooms, the 3 of them, were part of a study by this Dr. Allen. And in Dr. Allen's study, he reviewed more than 225 trading websites, evaluated them using several factors, including transparency, proven track record, and assisting traders with education materials and online support. And we came out on top. And this was published in Stock and Commodities Magazine and Traders World. So this is the Black Friday deal we're doing. And you're never going to get a deal like this before because this is way below anything we've done in 4 years. So for a quarterly subscription, you will get the Money Flow Tracker system. You'll get the Revo Auto Trader. Let me tell you something. The Revo by itself is worth every dime in any one of these subscriptions. You'll get the Market Scanner, and you'll get 1 month in my trade room. For a quarterly subscription, it's $5.97 a quarter. But the annual subscription, you get everything the same, is $9.97 for the year. That comes out to $9.97 divided by 12 comes out to $83 a month. So for $83 a month, you could be making profits. You could be making money like I did today. Today, I added up my profit, $3,268, and it's right here. Where is it? I didn't upload the whole thing. I only uploaded. I had 29.55 my trades this morning, and then I did a couple trades this afternoon, so I didn't put those on there. Right? Or if you want a lifetime subscription, it's $19.96, one-time lifetime subscription, 50% off. Okay, the annual is more than 50% off. It's more like 60% off. So these are the special deals that we're doing. Now, if you go to the chat window in your GoToWebinar control panel, there is a link in there. If you click on that link, it brings you to this page. Excuse me. You scroll down here, and if you want to pick the annual, just click sign up. I don't know if you have to put the coupon code in. Yeah, you have to put the coupon code in. I think it was save 50%. I believe that's what it was. Yep. Hate that thing. Anyways, so you'll see here, it was $19.94. You're going to save $9.97. Your total price is $9.97. And next year, when you go to renew, it will be $9.97. We don't raise the price on a customer for the second year. We're not going to lowball you for the first year and then jack up the price for the second year. Okay? When we can keep it the same, we keep it the same. All right? And you'll get all the extra bonuses. So if you'd like to subscribe, just go over to the chat window in the GoToWebinar, click on the link, and sign up. All right? And here's my commitment to you, is when you subscribe to the Money Flow Tracker software, is to help you become a successful trader. Remember one thing, if you're not successful, it's not your fault. Again, if you're not successful, it's not your fault. You're just not using the right tools to be successful. You know, in every job, every profession, you need tools, right? If you're, let's say, a policeman, you need a gun, right? You need a car. If you're a fireman, you need fire gear. You need a fire truck, right? You need tools to be successful at what you're doing. If you don't have the right tools, you can't be successful. The analogy I used to use was try to pound a nail into a piece of wood with a screwdriver. Yeah, if you sit there long enough and struggle long enough, you'll get it in there. But if you use the right tool, a hammer, a couple of shots with the hammer, and you're over, and you're ready to move on to your next task, right? Look, the Money Flow Tracker software is totally unique, and we give you that edge to trade with institutional order flow. So again, my commitment to you is to teach you not just how to read the setups. The setups are the easiest part to read, but to help you develop that mental mindset you must have in order to achieve financial independence. Look, you might not realize it, but trading, there's no physical skill in trading, right? You have no physical skill. You don't need to do anything physical. You have a finger, right? You have your index finger to push the mouse button. That's as much exercise as you get as a trader, is pushing that button, right? It's all up in your head. It's how you perceive a winning trade. How do you take it when you have a losing trade? Okay, do you get all freaked out when you have a losing trade? Do you throw the baby out with the bathwater, say this software sucks, I don't want to trade with it anymore, I had a losing trade? No, you can't. You have to have a certain mental mindset to be a good trader. And all the good traders I know have this mental mindset, right? So if you would like to speak with us, if you have questions, right, put in the questions box, put your name and number in the questions box, and this will lock in your spot for all the free extras that you would get. Okay? And either myself or Rory will call you right after the webinar. All right. So, look, it's a well-known fact that 95 to 98% of day traders and swing traders are losing money. Just like this guy here. The retail trader might as well just flush his money down the toilet, right? The other friend of mine, Steve, that works at a brokerage firm, I spoke to him on the phone and he says to me, he said, Dave, are you being a guppy today or are you being a shark? I said, what do you mean? He says, well, we call all the retail traders guppies because we feed off of them. He said, and we love when they open up an account with real cash money because we know that money is going to be gone and within a short period of time. So I always tell them, look, I'm being the shark today. I'm never going to be a guppy again. Right? So he laughed and he just did that, right? But not our traders. Why? Because when this guy is losing money, somebody else has to be making money, right? Institutional traders. The institutional traders are taking the money from the retail traders, right? That's why we trade with institutional order flow, right? That's why we trade with institutional order. We don't want to trade with the guppies. We want to trade with the sharks. And if they're not trading, we aren't either. So the question is asked, how do we know when they're trading? Easy peasy. Look, this number here at the bottom, right here, the market's closed, so it's not moving. That number there resets back to zero every minute. It's counting how many contracts is going through the market per minute. So we know, let's say on RTY, 300 to 500 contracts a minute is good institutional volume on RTY. MNQ would be 3,500 contracts or more is good institutional volume. So if this was in the middle of the trading day, and I see I only have 42 contracts on RTY, I'm not taking a trade because I don't have institutional order flow backing my trade. And I need to have institutional order flow. So when we have low volume days, like, look, Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, is normally a low volume day. We're not going to trade. I'm not trading Friday. I'm taking off. Right? Had a great day today, had a great day yesterday. I'm taking off Friday. I don't want to trade when institutions aren't trading. And most institutional traders do not trade on long holiday weekends. They are in the Hamptons or wherever they are. Okay? And if the market is trading, it's the junior traders. And they're told, keep the market within, let's say, they'll say, they have orders. They'll say, all right, keep the market within this range and this range. And you'll see most of those days, the market's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Sometimes a little lower, sometimes a little higher, grabbing those orders, pulling it back, right? We don't trade those days. If we don't have institutional order flow, I'm not trading, period. So again, we're doing 597 for quarterly, 997 for yearly. So if you're thinking about doing a quarterly, you're better off doing a yearly. And I just want to tell everybody that I really appreciate you attending this webinar and letting me explain to you the Money Flow Tracker software and the Revo and everything. Because I know how it is to be a struggling trader. Okay? And I want to make sure, and I told the higher powers at Right Line that we need to do a really special deal for Black Friday for people. And honestly, this is the lowest we've had it for probably, even last year we didn't do 997. So, and I want to ask you one thing, that if you subscribe, and I'm sure many of you will, is this is what I did 4.5 years ago. okay? Because I only can tell you what my experiences were. I subscribed after listening to Mark, and I talked to him on the phone. I called up, I spoke to him on the phone, and he said to me, if you're going to subscribe, I want you to be 110% all in, which means not looking at anything else, not adding anything to the system, learning the system, trading the system. Don't look at anything else and give yourself time. Don't subscribe for a month, right? And then expect to be an expert trader at it. You'll be successful if you, trying to think of the word, um, commit yourself to it. Be 110% committed to it. I will help you as much as I can in the room. Um, if you have questions, you can email me. You can ask me anything in the room, right? But be 110% committed to it. Go in 2026 and say, hey, I'm going to trade the money flow tracker software for this whole year. And I'm going to learn this, all the insides and outs, and I'm going to trade with it. And you'll see, if you follow the rules and everything, you should do just fine. I've had so many traders over the years come into the room and say they've been struggling and struggling for years and years and years, and now they've become excellent traders. So anyways, I want to keep going really quick. So this is a woman that wanted to learn how to trade. She has a friend in the trade room, and she wanted him to teach her how to trade. But he referred her to me. Actually, he referred her to Mark. This is going back about a year or so, 2 years. Anyway, and so she did. She contacted Mark, and Mark said right here, said, provided me all the charts of software I wanted, and Mark, he taught her everything. Taught her the setup, sat her in front of a computer for like 3-4 months, just taking trades in Sim, just practicing the setup, learning the software. Well, now she's a 6-figure trader. And I spoke to her on the phone, and I said, hey, do you trade every day? She says, let's like this, Mr. David, if I have no setup, I take no trade. I said, that's exactly what we do. And she learned the software, and she took time to learn it, and now she became really good with it. Here's a trader. It took 25 years he's been trading. He says that I've been trading 28 years. I only say the money flow tracker system is the smartest tools I've added to my toolbox. A single layout of a chart gives me everything I need at a glance. And honestly, this is one of the biggest reasons that it drew me in too, because I don't need to look at 5 charts to tell me what this chart's doing. I have a colored background. I know I have 3 time frames in agreement. I have the C2. I know I have 4 time frames in agreement. I know I have everything going here. Took the trade, and it was a successful trade. Okay? This is a gentleman that he wrote in the questions box in the webinar. He said to me, I am the world's worst trader. I'm actually thinking of quitting. And I like the money flow tracker software. So if you agree to help me, I will subscribe. So I did. 3 months later, he wrote this letter to Rory over at Rightline. He said, I started watching trading every morning, watch his methodology, more important, the rules. We only take specific setups. When you're following rules, we have a success rate of 70%. I now have 7 accounts at Apex, 7 accounts at Buell Knox. Well, now he has 20 accounts at Apex, 10 accounts at Buell Knox, and probably another 20 accounts with other prop firms, right? Then it goes on and says, the money flow tracker software, along with David's methodology and rules for trading, allow me to act like a robot and eliminate any guesswork or emotion from my trading. We use a trade tool called the NDT, which I just showed you, which allows a single push button to enter the trade. So when we see the correct setup, it's simple for him. If he sees the setup, he pushes the button. See the setup, push the button, see the setup, put. If he doesn't have a setup, he's not pushing the button. About 2 weeks ago, he sent me, this is a screenshot from the GoToWebinar questions box from the room. He wrote, plus $4,265, only traded 4 accounts that day. Look at the time. He only traded for 1 hour and 6 minutes, and he made $4,265. Right? So WL has this as yearly as tempting, but it seems so complicated for a senior citizen, including making a switch from Toss to Ninja and paying their fees to use. WL, put your phone number in there, and I'll have Rory give you a call. First of all, Ninja Trader is very easy to use. And just because you're a senior citizen doesn't mean that you can't learn to do anything. I'm considered a senior citizen. I just turned 67. But I'm not, I could still learn stuff. So if you want to sign up, then sign up and I will help you. Believe me, I have a few people that are not very computer savvy and they're using it just fine, right? So again, this is what we're doing is our special Black Friday deal. And again, if you have any questions or you would, Rory just sent me a message. Hold on a second. He says, I want you to thank Blake, Hugo, Jacob. Oh, there was a woman. Tanya and Celia. Welcome to the Money Flow Tracker software. I look forward to working with you in the trade room, probably starting next week, because you need to get your software installed and upload all that stuff. But if you would like to speak with us, and Rory said that anybody that puts their name and their phone number in, they will be guaranteed all the extra bonuses. So I would take advantage of this particular opportunity because, like I said, we've never done $9.97 before. The lowest we've ever gone was $11.97. Last year's Black Friday was $11.97. But we want to give people a chance to get involved and start trading with the Money Flow Tracker software. And that's all I got. So I kept it within a little over an hour. Thank you, Robert. Robert is in my trade room. Robert saw the monster trades that we had today. We had great trades with the Revo today. Actually, I like trading with the Revo better than manual trading, only because it does not miss trades. Okay? You know how it is. You stare at the charts and you go look at something on the other screen and this and that, and then oh man, there's an entry, I missed it. You have Robert saying, yeah, it was a great day. There's an entry I missed. The Revo does not miss entries. Okay, and the Revo is only going to keep getting better and better because we're making little tweaks here and there, things that we wanted to do, and I'm really happy with it. And if I'm trading with it, it's got to be good. So again, thank you everybody for attending. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to working with all the people that signed up and all the people that are going to sign up. Listen, we don't do special deals like this very often, okay? So when you have an opportunity, and if you're struggling trading right now, if you're struggling trading, hey, look, 2025 has not been an easy year for trading. Not like we did last year, okay? We made 82, almost 82,000. Probably by the end of the year, we'll be close to 100. But let me show you something, how much easier it was last year. Last year, we did 121,000 last year. And look at our profit factor, 3.40, with a win rate about the same, 75%. So look, I am very passionate about trading. I'm very passionate about teaching traders. I love to see my traders do well, even if they do better than me, okay? Because I know how it is to be a frustrated trader, okay? In that, I want to wish everybody a happy holiday, enjoy spending time with your family and loved ones, and commit to one trading system for 2026 and make it the Money Flow Tracker software. You won't be sorry. Look, I can't guarantee anything. There's no guarantee for anything. Also, before we go, I forgot. If you click on that link, we are also doing a special deal for the room. I forgot to even do. I forgot to even mention this. I don't even know why I mentioned it. Oh, right here. 1 year for the room is $499. 1 year for the room. The room is normally, I think, 120 something. I'm not even sure how much the room is, but for $499, you get the room pretty much for $41 a month. You can't pass that part up. Let me tell you, you can't pass that part up. For 12 months in a trade room for $41 a month. I'm not happy about it, but you can do it. I'm okay. Um, Dave's asking, Aaron, how much for trading room for 6 months? Well, I just told you, Dave, $499 for the whole year for the trade room. So look, you'll get the software, you get a year in the trade room, you'll be set for 2026. Okay, so make it your commitment, make it your New Year's resolution, whatever you want. But say, listen, I'm going to commit to one thing, one method for the whole year. And if after 4 or 5 months you're not happy, then do what you got to do. But you will be, okay? You will be. And that's it. That's all I got. So again, okay, then contact Roy Dave and see what he'll help you out with. All right. All right, everybody. Like I said, I wish everybody a happy holiday and hope to see everybody in the trade room. Take care. Bye bye.